All right, 4 days and counting till Super Bowl 59, and we have a Super Bowl champ and Hall of Famer joining us today. We'll get to that. Is it okay ever to say to a police officer, do you know who I am when he's arresting you? I got an all-timer for you. It's Hot Mics with Billy Bush, presented by our friends at LA Golf. Welcome to Hot Mics. I'm Billy Bush, and we are live on TuneIn and YouTube. The mics are hot as we speak. Right now, just pipe. I can feel them. They're getting even hotter on the other end. With a great Emmy winner, a Super Bowl champion. I watched this man in his final game in all his glory in 2008. He's a Peabody winner. He currently co-anchors ABC's Good Morning America. He serves as an analyst for Fox NFL Sunday. He's a good friend. He's a good golfer. Not a great golfer. He's a good golfer.
Oh, stop it.
Well, there he is.
Oh, stop it. You know what? I
How much have you
moments like
Venmo'd me?
golf.
How much have you Venmo'd me? How much would you say I have of Strahan Venmo in my history?
About $8, Billy. $8. Only because your partners have carried you on their
please.
back.
Look at
Like
this guy.
like it's one of those husband carrying the wife contests. You get carried across the finish line, or better yet, like a wedding, get carried across the threshold. I just got to pay for the reception out of my pocket in Venmo.
Oh, it's nothing. There's money. It's great to win money playing golf, but Strahan money, I have to tell you, is like special money. It comes with a great feel.
I'll be out there soon. I'll take it back. I'll come back and tell everybody how much I took off you.
All right, Stray, I got a question for you because you're getting ready to do the Super Bowl with all the Fox gang. I found this to be an interesting stat. I wonder if you know how many Super Bowl rings have been won between Fox NFL game and studio analysts.
Oh, okay. 10, 14.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You
Uh,
got Terry Bradshaw.
27?
34.
Wow.
Whoa.
34?
That's it. I think, yeah, I mean,
Who the hell got all the rings, Billy? I only got one.
Tom, Terry, I mean, Tom is
Gronk,
7, Gronk,
Edelman,
Edelman.
Woodson has one. Howie has one. Jimmy has two.
Yeah, it goes to
You know,
third.
it's funny.
Yeah.
I saw the boss yesterday, and I said, thank God he won that Super Bowl my last year in the league. I couldn't be there. There's no way. I couldn't show my face without a ring. Everybody has a ring on our show.
I don't know. You have to. Or else you're with Glazer alone at the end of the buffet with Jay
Glazer and Menifee.
Menifee, it could have been a contender. Have you had any time to spend with Tom Brady, who will be calling his first Super Bowl in his first ever year in the booth? Have you talked to him about it? How's he
I
feeling?
talked to him yesterday. Talked to him about it yesterday.
What's
You
Tom
know,
saying?
it's funny. He said he's very prepared, and he and Aaron Andrews, we were all together yesterday, and they said they wish that they had more time to talk because there's so much information, so many great storylines. But he said he's not really that nervous about it. He's kind of a little just anxious and ready just to rip roar and let it go. So I'm excited to see him do it. And it's kind of like when you're a player, you understand that it's a big moment, but at the same time, it's just football. So when you're on the field or when you're in the booth or when we're doing our pregame show, we know it's a Super Bowl, but you never let that affect you. You just go and do your job.
I mean, Tom, like the greatest ever. I always think he really stepped into a tough position because, I see like Wayne Gretzky, in the studio for hockey, and I'm like, it's tough when you are considered the GOAT, the greatest ever. It's hard to talk about other people's play. You know what I mean? You're the top guy. You'd be like, he should have done this. Well, of course, Tom. I mean, you would have. Right? I mean, that's a tough position to be in for him. But
It is, but you know what? It is, but it isn't. I think that no matter how being the GOAT like Tom is, I think more about Tom's insight. It's not necessarily about criticism. I think that when a lot of guys think, well, I have to criticize to be successful on TV, and that's not the case. You just have to be honest, giving an honest
yeah.
opinion. What kind of drives me crazy sometimes is when every time somebody opens their mouth, it's negative. They only have something bad to say, and half the time it's from somebody who's never done it. So I always think that no player is out there intentionally trying to be bad.
Right.
You have a lot of empathy and sympathy for that, but you also have to understand to be honest and at least give people, a little bit of a chance because when you're playing, you could tell the guys who are seem to be angry at the game and angry that other guys are still playing and they're not. And then you get the guys who just being honest, and those are the guys that you respect their opinion.
He's going to be critiquing Patrick Mahomes. Do you think
Ooh,
and many people think
that's
Mahomes?
like me critiquing your golf swing, man. It's like, God,
I thought you were going to
the
say like
goat looking
Reggie
at the
White or
future
something,
growth.
and you went to me and my golf swing. But
Same
Brady,
thing.
so Mahomes, you think now there's talk, could Mahomes, he's only 29, surpass Brady as the GOAT, right?
Mm. If he wins this ring, I mean, he's closer. He's got to win eight.
He's got to
Right?
win.
So it has to win eight. It's kind of like that LeBron and Michael Jordan thing. You're going to have these kids who grow up and they're going to say Patrick Mahomes is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then you're going to have old heads like me who are going to say, "Oh, Tom Brady's the GOAT no matter what." Like but it's just kind of a generational thing. But these two guys are incredible. And if you look at these teams that are playing on Sunday, I would think the Eagles are a better team. But when I look and go, oh, if they have Patrick Mahomes, I go, it's very hard to have one player that completely gives you so much confidence in a team that if you took him out, it's just a pedestrian team. Not going to call them a
Yeah.
pedestrian, but they're just. I don't think they're in the Super Bowl. Obviously, it's Mahomes is a special one, but he's going to have to win at least eight. When he gets to eight, then he's the GOAT.
He
But he has
for
a lot of time. He's young. Tom played until he was 58.
Almost, almost, man. So I look. I mean, who's got the more pressure? I mean, the Chiefs, right? I mean, people like to give the Chiefs a hard time. There's always like Chief backlash to anyone who's winning too much. But you say that the Eagles, pound for pound, a stronger football team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I mean, you look at their line; those guys, the huge best line in the league. You got a running back who can just plow through anybody and anything and outrun anybody at the same time. Um, Unfortunately, Billy, our team, the Giants,
Oh,
let him go to Philly and do all this. But I'm happy for Saquon because he's an incredible guy. So I'm happy to see him do well. Defensively, Philadelphia is really good. They can, get after it up front. The young guys that they have on their D line have stepped up this year, highly, drafted out of college. I think that Philadelphia overall the stronger team, but when I look at Kansas City, I look at Steve Spagnuolo, our old defensive coordinator. When I won with the Giants, he's incredible at scheming.
I like to
He
say
those guys
when we won with the
when we
Giants,
won, Billy.
yeah.
I'm surprised you and I aren't wearing our rings.
Don't forget the 12th
Gosh.
man. Don't forget our
Yeah,
rings.
we have to go into our saves and get our safes and get our rings, Billy, flash them to the world. But I think with Spagnola, that's the difference maker, the coordinator, from my time and experience with him. And I just think that I like to like you looking at Travis Kelce. I almost said Taylor Swift's boyfriend. You look at Travis Kelce, and he didn't have the greatest year, but the playoff roll around, and all of a sudden we see the old Travis Kelce. He and Mahomes just have this thing, and he's not as fast as he used to be, is not as quick as he used to be, but somehow the freaking guy still gets open. So they present a problem, but overall, stronger team, Philadelphia, without a doubt. And I just want to see a great game.
I wonder if Kelsey, if he three-peats, does he hang him up? He's 35 years old. He's got a ton. It's a hard position. He's not kicking. He's not punting. He's getting hit really hard. He's blocking all the time. Does he hang him up? Does he go have a little baby Kelsey? Does
It's
he
funny.
go like do the game shows and all? He's got a huge career in front of him. He's got a vibrant life after football like you. Do you think he hangs him up?
He said, I think the press conference the other day, I saw, he said, "Oh, I got three more years or whatever."
Tough.
I don't see that happening. It's very hard to eat when you're full. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? When you have so much good, and it's very hard. It's very hard to train for football, especially when you played it at the level he's played it for so long. And the crazy thing about your skill level, it goes fast. Like you don't know when you're going to lose that skill. It could be the beginning of the season, middle of the season, the end of the season. But all of a sudden, your mind thinking one thing, your body just can't do it. I don't want to see him get to that point because
Yeah.
we've all seen him slow down, but I still think he's a great player. 2 or 3 years from now, no. If he wins another Super Bowl, He's had one hell of a career. He's in the Hall of Fame without a doubt. He has tight end receiving records, and he's got a great life after on TV, in movies,
Yeah.
and in his dating life ain't too bad either. So, I
Niggas,
mean, outside of you, Billy, I don't think anybody had it better.
they're both 35. I think a family's in the offing no matter what, even if we're playing or not.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I think that, love lift them up where they belong.
Do you think if they win this ring, he gives her a ring?
I do. I do. I don't. He's a showman too. He might do it right up there on that
Ooh.
platform. Call her up, and he. I think that would be such a baller move, and why not? I mean, he's carried her out on stage in London in a tuxedo. He's played. You know what I mean? He's a
I can
showman.
see Terry Bradshaw up there trying to interview him after the game, and he dropped to a knee. And knowing Terry, he would probably think he's proposing to him and accept. But then it would wouldn't
Uh,
be right.
it's going to be. Now, what do you listen? Oh, the grizzled sports reporters of the world, with the notepads and the whole thing and the cigarettes going. I can't. They probably don't like all the Taylor Swift action and the celebrity and the hoopla. But I mean, look, I say, cut to her as many times as you can after every big Chiefs play, and especially Travis is in. This is entertainment. Most people, the viewership is highest during the halftime show, right? I mean, this is a night about Taylor Swift too, don't you think?
Well, it's not Taylor Swift's night, but I don't mind them
But
showing
include
Taylor
her.
Swift. I think that what she's done is she's brought a totally different group to the game. When you have these fathers who now say, "Oh, my daughter's watching football with me now," who never would even watch, waiting to see Taylor Swift. I mean, that's real. We can see the difference that she made in that regard. The action always, of course, is on the field for me. But if they want to show Taylor Swift, it's no different than showing Jerry Jones. It's no different
Yeah.
than showing any other owner. But they usually only show them when things go bad. They show her when Travis makes a big play, so she has a little bit extra benefit for being there. But I think it's great. It's great for the game. Brings more eyeballs and more attention. And heck, I'm going to be looking up in the skybox and see where she's at myself.
Absolutely. Second biggest celebrity cutaway, I'm saying Bradley Cooper. Who do you think?
Yes, Bradley Cooper and Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart representing the
Big
Eagles.
Eagles fan.
Indeed.
Yeah, those two.
Stray, did you know after that game in 2008 when you guys beat the undefeated New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, the great
Mhm.
David Tyree catch just a couple of days ago, the anniversary, did you know you were retiring for sure? Like this, even if we lose and it's a heartbreaker, I'm out? Or was it just like win and I'm out?
I think had we lost, I might have gone back for one more. But when we won, I was pretty much out. And it's funny, Steve Tisch, I'm out in LA. I meet up with Steve Tisch and we go to dinner with Peter Berg, great director Peter
Yeah.
Berg,
Mm-hmm.
and producer. And Peter, they're talking to me because Peter's a big Giants fan too. And they're talking to me, Mike, you got to come back. We got to run it back. And Peter's funny because he's like, "Yeah, I thought I had you," and then the next day you announced that you were going to retire. And I mean, I just went for the free meal. It was actually a very good steak. But yeah, I knew, man. I'd done 15 years, Billy, and it wasn't because a lot of what mentally I was just tired of not even playing. I love game days. I actually like the training. I just was tired of taping my fingers. I was tired of doing the stomp you out speech. Like it was everything, it was exhausting.
Yeah.
The part of the game didn't bother me. I love the competitive part of it, but all the extra stuff that went to that I had to do to get me to the point where I can be productive on the field. Plus, I got Osi Umenyiora breathing down my neck. You got Justin Tuck trying to take my
Woo!
starting job, telling me we're going to kick you out the league, old man, and just like that. They didn't understand when those young guys would go home, I was have to get in extra weights. I'd have to do extra running. I have to get in the ice tub. I didn't show them what it took to keep up with them. I just kept telling them that you'll never kick me out the league. But I realized I needed to remove myself before they removed me. I always wanted to be a guy that when it was over, people wanted me and thought I could continue instead of a guy who's done. And then they're like, "Oh man, I thought you were done years ago. I didn't realize you were still playing." I never wanted to be that guy. But
No,
I pretty much knew right after the Super Bowl I was done.
15 picture perfect years in the
Not picture
NFL.
perfect.
Pretty
You
good.
cursed me out a few times, I'm pretty sure, over the course of those 15 years.
Didn't you score a touchdown against the Eagles?
I did overtime. We
Oh,
were we were down
yeah.
like 14 at half or 17 or
There
something.
goes Strahan, the big man.
Yeah. Oh, I was a bigger dude back then, man.
Oh,
I was
how
about
much
extra
bigger?
30 pounds,
30?
rumbling, and I was rumbling. I look at pictures, I'm like, boy, you had some baby weight on you, Michael.
Oh, man, but 15 years in the game. But then a guy from Texas Southern University,
Yes,
not
sir.
not really a football powerhouse. How did you get noticed?
Well, I was in Germany. I grew up in Germany. I was in Germany. I didn't play football. My senior year of high school, my dad sent me to Houston to live with my uncle for 5 months and said, "You're going to play football and you're going to get a scholarship."
God,
I was like, okay. I was so naive that it was supposed to be hard that I just said, okay. And I got one scholarship in Texas Southern University. And I actually went back to Germany and graduated high school there. So I spent 5 months, my senior year in the States, to play football and got the one scholarship. And my dad said, it's free. That's where you're going, son. And that was it. 4 years later, I was in New York
your
with a job.
dad, your dad, a legend, no longer with us. May he rest in peace.
Yeah,
But a
rest in
retired
peace, Pops.
retired Army major. I got to assume, was he a disciplinarian in the house? Did you get a
My
couple
dad
of
was a
lickings?
very disciplined guy, but he absolutely loved his kids. He did everything he could with us. But he was disciplined. He was regimented, which I think is great because it's made me regimented and made me. I think it allows me to kind of keep everything in order because I'm so used to schedules and all that. But my dad would spend a lot of time with us. There's a lot of love with my dad. And the thing that I'm happiest about. He didn't see me go to space, but he
Yeah.
did see me get into the NFL Hall of Fame. And
Oh,
he did see a lot of success that I've had post football. And, you know, that made me the happiest to be able to acknowledge him at the Hall of Fame and have him there the whole week and have him be around all these other players who were in the Hall of Fame who he admired growing up and who he admired just watching while I was playing against some or before I was playing against some of them. It was great to see him in that element because no father was supported his son more than he supported me. It made me believe in me more than I believed in myself most of the time.
you ever get in trouble with him? Did you ever do anything that was bad?
Absolutely.
What'd you do? What's the
Man,
worst thing you ever did? And I bet you got a spanking for it. And you probably
the
deserved it.
worst thing a spanking, Billy. No, we call them whoopings,
A
Billy.
whooping.
You call it spanking. We call it a whooping.
I'm gonna spank you. You're gonna get a
Billy, you
spanking.
got you. Did you get put in the corner, Billy? We didn't put in the corner.
Oh, I got
We
the
got
belt.
we
I
got a
got the
whooping
belt
into the
from my
corner.
dad. Leather belt came off, folded in half. People like, oh my God, you were abused. And I say, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I deserved it. I can promise you that.
Oh, I whatever I did. Trust me, I deserved it.
You stole
And
from the
as we
candy
got
store. What'd you
older, it
do?
wasn't so much of the beatings and whippings or whatever you want to call it. It was more you got to wash dishes 2 weeks, a month, every day is your job. No complaints. And it was like, oh, I don't want to do an extra chore, so I'll just straighten up. But we were always taught the difference between right and wrong and all those things. And it just makes you think about your decisions. And I think that carries over to every day in everyone's life for as long as you live. The decisions you make day to day will
Yes, sir.
determine what the outcome is of your life and, the consequences that you have to pay or the consequences that you don't pay because you don't do anything wrong.
That's right. That's right. Michael, gosh, you got a really busy, you always have a busy schedule, but this is great. The Fox on Sunday, you're part of the Madden Cruiser, right? I mean,
Yeah.
The
We
Madden
got the
Cruiser.
Madden Cruise Bill Belichick Bayou Tour. So Belichick is going around New Orleans on the Madden Cruiser because in exploring New Orleans, talking about the history of the Super Bowl here, the history of
What?
the city, because they've hosted more Super Bowls than anyone. And, the Madden Cruiser is iconic. So I hopped on the bus with Bill and we had a nice little jaunt through New Orleans. It got Tom Brady on it, Aaron Andrews on it,
Whoa.
Tyrann Mathieu, Ed Reed. So we got a lot of great guys and a lot of great history of the city of New Orleans and just a lot of fun with Bill Belichick.
Wait a minute. Is this to prove a point that Bill Belichick is fun? Like that he's not a curmudgeon? That he's not, I mean, of all people to be the happy go lucky tour guide around New Orleans, I don't pick Bill Belichick. But that said,
Well,
we have a look
well,
at it.
I think Bill Belichick being a fish out of water is interesting.
Yeah.
And I also think that you get John Madden, who is the legendary coach and broadcaster, and the Madden Cruiser, which when I
Oh,
played, I got called on. I went on it once or twice, and it was just like the biggest thrill. Whenever John Madden called the game, you were like, this is big time.
boom.
And now you have the GOAT coach. If you look at it, you can call Bill Belichick the GOAT of coaching, and to have him on the Madden Cruiser going around telling the story of New Orleans in the Super Bowls, which he has won quite a bit, about 6 with the Patriots, a few with the Giants. There's no one better to tell the story, and I love seeing that side of Bill Belichick.
All
It's a
right,
little different than the
let,
curmudgeon, as you said.
let's take a little peek here. Here's a little look at Strahan and Bill Belichick rolling around. There's Bill rolling around. New
Came out in
Orleans.
the second half and just gave the ball to
Always
Emmitt Smith and went right down the
recanting
field.
Broad to Smith, tackled but breaks away to the 10, to the 5, touchdown.
Oh, I love the music.
I'll tell you another one. We were down 21-3 against Atlanta, and I made some halftime adjustments, and then we went down 28-3.
Touchdown Atlanta.
I think that's not what I'm talking about. I'm
Oh.
talking about halftime performances, dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill Belichick just
Not
danced.
halftime play adjustments.
I'll watch it this year.
Strahan.
Our idea
that
of
is
fun in
hysterical.
New Orleans. Our idea of fun in New Orleans was a little different. But you know the crazy thing about Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
You know what he was? We were talking just casually. He throws it out there. He's like, "Yeah, in college, I had to come to Mardi Gras every year. I was down here all 4 years in college. I would drive down with the fellas, and we would just party for 4 days." And I'm like, "What?
Really?
You really?" Yeah, yeah.
I just,
And yeah, I was really surprised by that. We all were. I don't know if Brady was really that surprised though. I think he's seen a little bit more Belichick than we have.
oh yes, he has. He's seen. Although he paid the ultimate compliment to Tom, he said, "I think the Lombardi Trophy should be named the Brady Trophy." Says Bill Belichick.
I love Tom. I love Tom.
Tom
but
wouldn't
no.
want that.
No.
No.
You know what? You could name an MVP trophy maybe after somebody, but then what happens if somebody surpasses them? It's kind of like, I just think that the Lombardi Trophy is so iconic, and I just sometimes we don't need to change things. Just leave them how they are. I don't think that makes much sense.
Michael Strahan with us here on TuneIn and Hot Mics on YouTube and
Hot mics.
Hot Mics. Mike. By the way,
How are you enjoying Hot Mics, Billy? How are you enjoying this podcast life?
It's freedom. It's freedom to be whatever you want to be. And by the way, I got the hottest mic of all the mics on right now. Big Mike Strahan. That's a hot mic right there. Big and beautiful. Hey, tonight, on a serious note here, you have this incredible documentary on ABC and with your daughter, Isabella. And boy, she had the fight of her life here. Life interrupted. Isabella Strahan's fight against cancer. There she is with her dad. Should we take a little peek at that? We've got a little bit of a clip. Let's show people and let them hear what a little bit of this. But you're very much a part of it. Your other daughter, Sophia, obviously her twin, she's in it. It's a family affair. Take a look at this right here. Life interrupted.
The first thing that went through my mind was, this must be a mistake. It didn't seem real.
You don't really think the worst until you get told the worst. I'm not gonna cry.
Oh.
That was just the worst moment any parent could expect.
As a parent, you're scared. Oh my. You're just scared.
I couldn't even process it really. I was kind of in shock.
Bye guys. Wish me luck.
She told me at one point, I'll do whatever I gotta do because I don't want to die. And I was like, wow.
Gotta say, I'm a father of 3 girls myself. One of them happens to be the same age as Isabella, same class, same school, same everything. And Michael, we're dads. We want to fix things. We want to fix them right away. How did you handle that, knowing you couldn't?
Well, it was tough. We're used to fixing things, especially when you have your girl dad. You got girls who see you need help. You're so used to being able to step in and fix anything, and this was where I just had to let go and pray and depend on friends and family to pray and just be there to love her and let her know that she was cared about. And that was it, Billy. I tell you, it is and has been the craziest time of my life, to where you realize what matters and what really doesn't matter. And it was like a incredible, I wouldn't say reset, but it was an incredible wake up call about how important family is and about how important health is. And having those around you love you and support you. And it was tough because I just had to let it go and trust that we had the best doctors who did an incredible job to get her back on her feet.
And she got her sister and her friends. I mean, so many friends gathered around. I always think with people who are in a real big health battle like that, it's like a lot of it's your mindset, right? And the energy and people around you. And she just seemed to be totally uplifted. Her friends were really. I love what your daughter Sophia said, because here she is, a twin, having to feel what her sister's going through, and she's sort of a caregiver. And Sophia, is as cute as she is, she's like, I just wanted to make things normal for her. I wanted to talk about normal things that, us girls talk about.
But it was funny because she got her chemo treatment at Duke, and that's where Sophia's at school. So we went there, and right before her first chemo treatment, Sophia came over with some of her friends, and they left the place where we were staying. They disappeared. I'm like, where'd they go? And they came back, and Isabella was crying because she said that was the first time she felt normal in a long time, just being with Sophia and her friends. And so now it's good to see her, like this special. I hope everyone watches it and gets something from it, because it was her idea, not my idea, because she wanted to help people, because she couldn't find anybody who's going through what she was going through or had any kind of direct voice towards it at her age. And that was her whole motivation with starting her vlog, which led into this. So I hope people watch, enjoy, and learn something, and maybe answer some questions of some families that are going through this, or anybody in the future. It gives them an idea what to expect and a voice. But it's very hard for me to even watch a clip.
Yeah.
So I hope other people watch, because I don't know if I have the strength to do it yet.
Oh, Michael, what a what I can't wait to watch it. She's such a beautiful kid, and I want to end here on a little bit of a high note here. Okay, ready?
What you got?
Hot mics, hot shots. You ready to go? These are quick, man. Quick. What was your nickname?
First thing that pops into my mind, that kind of thing.
Michael Strahan, your nickname growing up was?
Bob, booty on back. I had a big old butt, Bob.
Oh, wow.
Well, hey, that's what, I was 13 years old. That made me go to the gym. I bought the Jane Fonda workout tapes, and that got me in shape, Billy. That kicked off my football career.
Woo!
That's my glutes are tight.
Great
Gluteus maximus.
I missed that term, gadonk. Okay. Favorite pet as a child?
Dog.
You had a little, what was his name? Her.
My dog, well, we had different dogs. Each one of us had one. We had Fluffy, we had Killer.
Whoa.
None of them were killers.
Fluffy and Killer, separate corners here. Okay. Your favorite TV series, sort of as of late? What have you been binging?
Oh, as of late? Oh, man. Oh, Lioness is my show. But I love Billy Bob Thornton and Landman. That's a great one, too. Those are the two that I've been watching that I've binged. The Agency. I'm on all.
You're traveling a lot. You travel a lot.
I'm on the Night Agent right now. I'm
Me
starting
too.
that one.
Me too.
Season 2. I just started it.
I'm in season 2 as we speak. Who is really funny to you? Like comedian, actor, or whatever?
God, Billy Bush.
Hey. Moving on.
Seriously. Billy, you have a gift. You really are like super freaking funny. Like a walking, like every day see you funny. A lot of people, they have to write jokes to be funny, or they have other people write jokes and then they can act them out to be, you're just funny.
I love you, man. Thank you for that. What about, give me a song on your all-time playlist.
Oh, Secret Garden by Quincy Jones.
Woo!
Little Barry White up in there, little James Ingram, little Al B. Sure, and El DeBarge.
Oh, to the beat of the rhythm of the night. Okay. Okay, here's a big one. First kiss. How old were you?
Oh, Linda McKinney. I was in like 6th grade in Mannheim, Germany. 5th or 6th grade, Mannheim, Germany.
Yeah. Mannheim,
Hello,
Germany.
Linda. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, Linda. Yeah. Lucky Linda, they called her after that. See,
I don't know about that. Kissing some 6-year-old kid with a big gap in the teeth. Wasn't so hot back then, Billy.
Hot Lips Strahan, you were 6? What the heck?
Hot Lips Bob.
Bob. Booty on back. Celebrity crush growing up. Like, ooh, she was the...
Ooh. Well, celebrity crush, Billy. Well, I'm trying to think. Who is a celebrity
A
crush?
little
growing up? I
guy,
have
you're
a
looking at
lot.
this. You're looking at the screen. Little fella, little Bob is looking at the screen. He's like, man, someday when I'm tall enough,
Oh
boy, would
man, I
I.
don't even know. Growing up, I don't know who the celebrity crush would have been growing up.
Yeah, like Daisy Duke for me. I had Daisy
Well,
Duke, and
I
then I
mean,
moved in
Daisy
next door.
Duke, Dukes of Hazzard was great. Um, that's a
Love
good
boat.
question. I don't know.
Circle back to that. Circle
Thelma
back to that.
from Good Times. I mean, Janet Jackson,
Yeah, Janet
Halle
Jackson.
Berry. You call it. You call it. I'm
Oh,
there.
now they're pouring out. Now they're really pouring out. Movie. Here we go. Movie that makes you cry.
Um,
And don't say Rudy.
no, I'll be honest with you. Any movie where Babe makes me cry.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
movie where someone makes someone proud.
Yeah.
For some reason, I relate that to my father. And it literally, I've been on the airplane, like over there on my feet, watching a movie. Anything about making someone proud, like accomplishing something great that makes somebody go, you know what? Job well done.
That's-
Some reason that hits my heart every time.
That's why you're such a positive guy. Second, you have the best gap. I'm going to say the best gap of any famous person. Who has the second best gap? Whose gap do you admire?
Lauren Hutton.
Yeah. It's a great gap.
Lauren Hutton. You know what? I was like one of the originals. But then, Madonna used to have a gap. I don't know if she still has it. And David Letterman.
David Letterman, great gap. Louis Anderson had a great gap.
Louis Anderson. There's a good gap contingent out there. And for April Fool's one day, I had my dentist buddy filled it in, my buddy Lee, and we did this whole thing, and people thought I actually filled it in. I can't tell you the hate texts I got, Billy. The hate.
Oh,
Instagram. It was like, you let down Gap Nation.
yeah.
Wow. I'm like, what? Gap Nation? I missed those meetings.
I love. And well, listen, we got a few other great ones. We got to throw in Anthony Anderson because he's dying to play you in the Strahan biopic.
No. Anthony told me that he fixed his because people kept coming up to him asking if he was me.
Yeah. Too bad. You're the guy from Kangaroo Jack. My bad. The gap is a beautiful gap. Okay, so Michael, I love this ABC Tonight beautiful special. Life Interrupted, Isabella Strahan's fight against cancer. It's at 10 o'clock. And of course, I mean, you got Michael on GMA. You got him on Fox NFL. You got him on the Super Bowl. $100,000 Pyramid. That's coming back Sunday, March 9th. March 9th, 10 o'clock on ABC. Wow. Nothing
and I have a question for you, Billy.
Yeah.
I can't give it to you right now because you got to watch Sunday, but who are you picking?
Eagles. I want the Eagles, and I'm going to bet. Yeah, you know why? As a Giants fan, I think you got to learn your lesson and learn it all the way. I want Saquon. I'm going to bet Saquon too. Put $1,000 on Saquon for the big parlay to win outright, to run for 100 yards, and to score a touchdown. I got all of that for Saquon. MVP of the league, MVP of the game, MVP everywhere. Finish it off, Saquon. That's what I'm feeling.
I tell you what, I talked to him yesterday. I interviewed him yesterday. He's ready to go, buddy.
Oh, I bet those quads are beautiful.
Yeah,
they're powerful.
Big guy.
Michael Strahan, I love you, my friend. Thank you
love
so
you, buddy.
much. Have a great time. Give my best to the whole crew. And coming up.
All right, Hot Mics.
What an animal. Coming up on Hot Mics with Billy Bush, we are going to get into the latest of our guy. What has the Donald done? What has he done now? I'm constantly asking myself this question. Does the good still outweigh the bad? We'll answer that. Hot Mics with Billy Bush, presented by LA Golf. Back in 60 seconds. Hot Mics with Billy Bush, brought to you by LA Golf. Upgrade your game. Take your golf experience to the next level at lagolf.com. And for all the sports fans out there, don't miss a beat with TuneIn Premium. Unlock access to the biggest college football and basketball games, every NHL game with no blackouts, and commercial-free ESPN radio to keep you up to date on all the breaking news around the sports world. Plus, enjoy over 300 commercial-free music stations to suit every mood or activity, whether you're into today's hits, classic rock, smooth jazz, country roads, or anything in between. There's even over 100 mood stations to help you unwind and chill out. Stay informed with commercial-free CNN, Fox News Radio, MSNBC, and more with fewer ads and no interruptions. Tune in to 100,000 global radio stations and podcasts and get breaking news and sports talk anytime, anywhere. Go to tunein.com/premium and sign up today to unlock it all.
Not really any questions.
And we're back on Hot Mics. Billy Bush here. Hot Mics brought to you by LA Golf, and you can check us out on TuneIn. So, look, I constantly have to ask myself when it comes to Trump, does the good still outweigh the bad, right? Like here on day 16 of his second term, 16, right? I feel like so much has happened. I say yes. It still outweighs any of the crazy stuff because Trump knocked the crazy out of us by standing up to the mob, which was fueled by the cultural elite's desire to feel better about themselves. By demonizing us, our kids, even our ancestors, tear down historic monuments. I mean, we had deeply shameful terms thrust on us like systemic racism, inherent bias. COVID is targeting people of color more. I mean, criminal justice system is rigged against people of color. We were all made to feel that we were part of it. You're better if you didn't honk in support of a police brutality march. Yeah, they wrote down your plates. We were all told, all in all, race relations were worsening in the country that elected a black man twice, and we should all feel very, very guilty about that. Corporations were issuing deep, groveling, self-loathing apologies for stuff they didn't do. We survived basically systemic insanity. And Trump defeated all of that by dominating its mouthpiece, the media. And with the media, it's shock and awe. Flood the zone. Overwhelm them with outrage so they lose their page. Carpet bomb them with chaos so they fall out of line. And now he's doing it like John Williams conducting the Boston Pops. Well, that's probably too smooth. Maybe P.T. Barnum under the big top, right? The executive orders flying like asteroids at the media. Right, many laced with outrage catnip. Steve Bannon calls this tactic muzzle velocity. Actually has a name for the strategy. Tariffs on our neighbors, pardoning the January 6ers, all of them. Banning birthright citizenship, ending DEI, ending gender surgery for minors, inmates, kicking biological men out of women's prisons, women's sports, sending federal employees to actual work. You have to go into the office, redesignating the Gulf of America, take back the Panama Canal, annex Canada, buy Greenland, reopen Guantanamo. He is a hungry hippo, Trump. Exit the Paris Climate Accord, quit the World Health Organization, open the water floodgates in California, release 2 dams. By the way, in the wrong part of the state, delay the ban of TikTok, which serves as an espionage tool for China. No federal loans, no grants. Get them all doing the Trump dance. He's got everybody. The media is like Rocky in the early rounds against Clubber Lang. Dizzy. They have no idea what's going on. They've just been hit so many times. Every time you try to latch on to the latest thing, he's already hit you with something else. Wait till he tells NPR and PBS, no more panhandling. You have to actually hire some sales reps now. Speaking of which, Elon and the Doja Boys, I love the Doja Boys. These guys, Elon's henchmen in there cutting $1 trillion in spending. He's got 4 guys, ages 22 to 25, like actual kids in there with him doing all the work. That's a lot of cutting they have to do. But if you're going to cut $1 trillion, you got to start somewhere. Here's where I think they start. The $10,000 that we earmarked last year to support the Bearded Ladies Cabaret, a musical ice skating performance focused on climate change. Let's claw back the $10,000. $75,000 for a study on lizards being blown out of trees. Take back the $75,000. And $6.9 million toward research into smart toilets that recognize a user's anal print. $7 million to for an anal print? Is that the most disgusting thing you've ever heard? So how about the Don with Benjamin Netanyahu? They get together. They faced the press yesterday, Netanyahu over here, to discuss the Israeli-Hamas war. But there's one little moment of levity, and this is why, whether you hate him or you have to laugh, it involves an Afghan journalist asking Trump a question.
Are you able to recognize Taliban? Because I'm an Afghan journalist, Afghan suffered woman. Any comment about Afghanistan? What's your future plan for Afghan people, especially Afghanistan?
I have a little hard time understanding you. Where are you from? Oh. Actually, it's a beautiful voice and a beautiful accent. The only problem is I can't understand a word you're saying. But I just say this. Good luck. Live in peace. Go ahead, please.
It's so good. This is the president of the United States. It's so good. Live in peace. Have a nice life. Ta-ta. I mean, God, you see, I know I shouldn't be laughing at the things that Trump said. I could get fired right here. I could fire myself just for laughing at what I saw right there. He's talking about the USA taking over Gaza. I'm telling you, the guy, he can't get the real estate mogul out of his system. He looks over, all he can see is coastline. I love coastline, but no one loves coastline more than Trump. He wants to build the Atlantis, right? The Atlantis, Middle East Riviera there. Almost 2 million people live there. So he asked Bibi, he said, look, we're going to work out other Arab countries to take the people. I think I should take the land. Oh, my God, he's unbelievable. We're going to get into some hot mics, hot takes in a second here. The Oscar race takes a stunning new turn. Is it ever good these days to tell the arresting officer that you're, who you are? Do you know who my father is? That's a bad move. It's another hot mic moment. Billy Bush, Hot Mics, presented by LA Golf. We're back in 60 seconds. Hot Mics with Billy Bush, sponsored by LA Golf. Take your swing to the next level with LA Golf's cutting-edge technology. Visit lagolf.com and upgrade your game. And for all you sports fanatics, go big with TuneIn Premium and unlock the biggest college football and basketball games, every NHL game with no blackouts, and commercial-free ESPN radio. Stay in the game all year long with TuneIn Premium. Plus, premium users can enjoy over 300 commercial-free music stations, from today's hits to smooth jazz, classic rock, country roads, and everything in between. Hear all your favorite stations and more, all in one place, and keep music flowing. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news, TuneIn has got you covered. Listen to your favorite news stations like CNN, Fox News Radio, MSNBC, and more, all with fewer ads so you can get back to what's important. Premium listeners can listen to over 100,000 global stations and podcasts on TuneIn, so you can stay connected with breaking news, sports talk, and top music anytime, anywhere. Unlock all of it by visiting tunein.com/premium and sign up today. All right, rolling on. Hot Mics here, presented by LA Golf. We are live on TuneIn. Time for today's Hot Mics, Hot Takes. Executive producer Rob Silverstein. Rob the Lob. If you've ever played pickleball with Rob, you know it's a very small court. He has mastered the lob. I bet you could lob someone on a ping pong table.
I do lob, and I'm a very short man as well, so it fits.
And I'm going to say you're easy to lob to. Here we go. Rob Silverstein, what do we got?
Bill, is it ever a good idea to tell a policeman in any situation, do you know who I am?
No. It's a terrible idea. People have survived it. Let's be honest, right?
We know some.
Reese Witherspoon had one years ago that was rough. She got out of it. She apologized. I think buried it somewhere. It's gone. But
she's moved past that.
She's moved past it. She's very, very, very powerful. In fact, I should probably stop talking, or my hot mics are going to be shoved right up my caboose.
Bill, Michael Jordan's 34-year-old son Marcus was arrested yesterday in Florida. Misdemeanor drug charge. Police found his car stuck on a railroad track.
Whoops.
And he gave his version of, do you know who my daddy is? You guys should roll the tape right now.
Oh, dear.
I'm Marcus Jordan. I'm Michael Jordan's son. Okay. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just trying to get home.
I hear spinning tires. I hear slurred speech from you. You're driving on train tracks.
I'm not slurring anything. And I'm...
Yeah. What was he doing on a railroad track? He said he took a wrong turn and he ended up on the railroad track, and you're not drunk? He's like, I'm not slurring my words. Oh, you're slurring your words, my friend.
Yeah.
He's buzzed.
You know, there's a lot of interesting angles here, but do you remember who he was engaged to?
Larsa Pippen.
Larsa Pippen. Who was the wife of?
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen played with?
Michael Jordan.
They were together, teammates for years?
Your dad's wingman, the Robin to your Batman, and you've got Robin's ex-wife and your date. Wow. Yeah, I remember that. So he was obviously hammered. I mean, just right, drunk as a skunk.
There was something, and he's in some trouble. It's a misdemeanor.
but he's in trouble, and the photo surfaced of him appearing to do some type of drug years. I don't know, but he obviously there's some trouble there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can survive that. You know, you do it the right way. As I said, Reese survived it, and I think she should have. I don't like the idea of holding people down here forever, not letting them up. I like a world where we screw up, we say we're sorry, we mean it, we're forgiven instantly, and we move on. If Jesus and the Lord are going to forgive us, then so can the guy from, the New York Post and whatever, Twitter.
Bill, if you get stopped by a police officer, do they normally know who you are?
It depends. Yeah, I mean, I've had that.
Has that helped you ever? Not that you would say it, but that they notice who you are and they kind of give you a break.
I've flashed a little side boob before. I've done, in a very desperate situation. I once did that, and it got me double the ticket. No, I've had a nice exchange. I have gotten out of something. In fact, one guy it was a couple of years after I got fired was like, "Yeah, you've been through enough, pal. You're all good."
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh my God,
at least
thanks."
one thing came out okay.
One thing came out. I'll tell you what the craziest thing was. I once had the scariest thing that ever happened to me, and I hate that line, grab them, but I hate the grab. I just can't even say it. It's just I never even heard it in the first place. But I can't. But I was in a supermarket in Santa Monica, and I'm in Santa Monica, California. I'm at Whole Foods, and I'm sort of sheepish at this time in my recovery. I'm just kind of shopping on my own because I'm not doing anything during the day. And I'm at Whole Foods, and I get these, some nice women often that look at me, and they're like, "Oh, there he is, Billy Bush. Oh, cute Billy." And they usually say, like, the loveliest things, like, "Oh," and they want to nurture me and all that. So I'm standing in the line to check out, and this very big Russian dude with a tank top, massive arms, huge quads and legs. I mean, he is giant. And he goes, "Oh my God, he's grabbing by the booty guy. Look, he's grabbing by the booty guy. I can't believe it." And I'm like, he's not talking to me. Please don't be talking to me. I'm looking over my shoulder going, please tell me Trump is here. It can't be me. I can't handle this now. Please, no. And he goes, "Grab him, but this is incredible." And he grabs his phone. He goes, "Come on, selfie, grab him by the booty guy. You and me." And I'm like, oh, Jesus, no. And I'm like, I can't take a selfie with this man, or I have no self-respect for myself. And even though he's built like a Humvee, I still can't. I can't do this. I'm gonna stand up. And finally, I go, "I'm not taking a selfie with you. Please put your phone down. I'm going to tell you something. You may think that's funny. I don't think that's funny. It took years off my life. I don't know how I just was so irate. And I said, I'm not taking a photo with you. Now get the hell out of my way." And these women are looking at me going, "Oh my God, Billy Bush is going to die today in Whole Foods." The dude looks at me and he goes, "You don't talk to me like that. Okay? Grab him, guy." And he goes outside and he's leaning up against a polished, dark black Land Rover, tinted windows. And he's standing right by the door. And I'm like, I said to the guy at the counters, "Do you have a security here that could help walk me out?" And he said, "I'm sorry, we don't."
We don't.
And I just said, okay, this is my moment.
Here we go.
This is my moment to be a big boy and a brave boy. And I grab my bags, and I remember those stories. You just stare the bully in the eye, you stand up to him, and they go away. Bullies go away. And I grab my bags, and I walk out, and I look at him, and I give him a solid nod, and I turn, and I walk towards my car. And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm looking in the reflection of my watch to see if he's following me. Like, this is terrifying. And he just looked at me stunned. And I walked to my car, and I put my bags in, and I drove away. And I was like, yes, the beginning of my recovery, darn it. I'm back.
And you're back with a hot mic.
Back with a hot mic?
Yeah.
Look at that. Hey, guy, come on in here.
All right, Bill. Let's go to the openly transgender Oscar nominee, Carla Sofia Gascon.
Yeah, she's the first openly transgender Oscar nominee.
Amelia Perez is the movie. It's been nominated 13 times.
No one's seen it.
What is going on with this, Bill?
Well, it's old tweets. These are old tweets, and it's a deja vu. We can all say it, together. Oh, my God, here we go again. But, we thought that this old tweets was an old thing. I didn't think we were digging up old tweets again. But this woman, they found stuff that some people see as racist and Islamophobic and other such things. Comments on George Floyd. She's done Hitler. None of it's advised. You know what I mean? Do I think that this is a racist person? The idea that a transgendered actress who is marginalized beyond marginalized in the business and in life in America would then be racist and picking on other people or be that way. Was she dumb 10 years ago like everybody was? I don't know. Yeah, seems like it. Should she be able to issue her groveling apology and, attend the Oscars? Some people are saying that she should not be able to attend the Oscars and to rip away her nomination. I hope they don't do that.
No, they're upset with her. She did that interview on CNN, Deportes. It went an hour long. I don't think she came off that well.
The interview didn't help. I think by the way, Netflix is the studio behind Amelia Perez. They're not thrilled for multiple reasons. One is, she would have been wise to not go out on her own, go rogue and do an hour-long interview with CNN, Deportes, or anyone. You got to let the big studio in an Oscar season handle that, put out the statement, where she apologizes. Then she just lays low. And with all that Trump is doing and everything that's going on in our world, everything happens at lightning speed. Chances are, in a week, no one's talking about you.
And voting is going on right now.
Voting, Academy members are voting. They haven't completed their voting yet. Right. That's only a few days before the actual telecast on March 2nd. So is it going to hurt her? Absolutely. Was she ever going to win? Probably not. It's Demi Moore's year in that category anyway. That's what I think.
Well, Bill, we're a live show, so things happen live while we're on the air.
Yes.
So Trump this relates to what we're talking about. The Don just barred transgender student athletes from women's sports. Do you think that's a good thing?
I think most people agree with it. Absolutely. I think it's a popular decision. He's going to get no blowback on that. Yeah. I think that's right. It's not fair.
Didn't Caitlyn Jenner once say something about where she tees off?
Oh, I remember. No, I interviewed Caitlyn, who's a great golfer, very good golfer, member of a fancy club outside of L.A. And I said, Caitlyn, when you're playing golf, do you tee off now from the red tees, or
red tees are the female tees?
Yeah, or the blues, which is the men. And Caitlyn said, "Well, Billy," and she, the way she talks because of the nasal thing, says, "Well, sweetie, it depends on if we are gambling or not." I said, "Oh, well, aha, a real sports person."
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean? He says, "Well, if there's money on the line, I tee from the Reds. Of course I do, sweetie." Ba 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 ba.
All right, let's change gears again.
Oh man,
who's winning the PR between Baldoni and Blake?
Okay. The Justin Baldoni Blake Lively thing is a hot mess right now. Hot mess on hot mics. It is. I'll tell you who's not winning. I'll tell you who's losing is Ryan Reynolds is losing at this point because it's starting to come out like he is some kind of mercurial overlord, very controlling, and his fingerprints are all over this. He's emailing Justin Baldoni, and after Baldoni's falling over himself somewhat pathetically to be Ryan Reynolds' friend. He's like, "I want to be your friend. I know I'm doing these scenes with Blake, and I just want to say I respect you so much. I love your movies." And, Ryan's a powerful guy with all those Deadpools and everything. And he writes him, and Ryan writes him back and, uses the leverage and says, "Look, I don't like to be apart from Blake, and my Deadpool schedule is this. Can you move your shooting schedule for your movie by 2 weeks to accommodate our family?" This is the life they chose. I mean, Baldoni's like, okay. And then, of course, in Deadpool, there's the scene where he plays a character called Nice Pool, and he has a ponytail and calls himself a feminist. So he's literally trolling Justin Baldoni, who was, I'm sorry, second on the call sheet at Jane the Virgin before all this. And Ryan Reynolds is picking on him in a major film. It doesn't look good. Ryan looks small here. I don't understand what their legal team is doing. They need to settle this thing quickly. And Justin Baldoni, whoever, he knew this thing was starting to slide. And whenever the relationship started to spoil between he and Blake and Ryan and all that, someone really smart on his team said, document everything now. All phone calls, all emails, all everything. And he did. And if he didn't, I'm telling you, this would have been a giant he said, she said, and he would have lost.
Absolutely.
He would have lost outright. They would have gotten rid of him and kept the powerful guy. Sadly, there is a trail that is very detailed, and you can see everything. I mean, they put up a website. Baldoni's got a website up with every piece of information and every recording. I mean, it's bad news for them.
This is going to continue, and hopefully we'll have Friedman on at some point, the attorney who likes to speak. There's no question about it, and he's incredibly smart, and he represents Baldoni. So hopefully maybe we'll have him on next
By the
week.
way, also represents the Menendez brothers right now. What do you think? The boys must be like, hey, guy.
What about me? What about us?
We're still here. We've been here for 34 years in this.
Bill, I have one quick thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Taylor Swift, we talked about earlier. We've talked about her a lot. She's going to be at the Super Bowl. We know that. Do you think she's ever going to perform at the Super Bowl? She hasn't done that.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? She's not afraid of giant, big
No, she
things.
loves that, but she just had the huge tour, so she has to wait till she has something to promote, obviously, her next album.
not for a while.
But that's going to be probably years from now.
Remember Rihanna did it with a bun in the oven? Maybe Taylor does it with a bun in the oven. And if Kelce goes for another season, maybe.
I like what you said earlier, though, about proposing.
Oh, he's going to. I think.
Forget the ring that he gets for the Super Bowl if they win. The ring that he would give her, he'd have to pull it out of his. It would be like a wrestling movie to pull it out somewhere. It'd be unbelievable.
I would not be surprised. He's a showman. If he popped the question to her right after the game in front of 125 million people or whatever it is.
Now, Bill, do you want to do? Vinny is your assistant, who you have $5,000 on the line that he lose 50 pounds in 6 months. Do you want to do him today? Do you want to wait till Monday to go? If we wait till Monday, we're done with the show now. If not, we can go to the 1 minute break, and then we can come back. I'm
gonna wrap it up right here. But Vinny is we weighed him just a couple days ago. I told him he's 5'7", 267 pounds, and I told him. And this may sound insensitive, but I said, Vinny, anti-wrinkle cream, they have. Anti-fat bastard cream, they do not. You are 5'7", 267. It ends here. No more. And he said, you know what? I'm doing this, baby. Here we go. He's the love of my life. He's a beautiful man. And guess what? He's 9 pounds down in 1 week. He's 20% of the way there.
You know what they say about that, but I'm not going to say it.
It's like throwing a deck chair off the Titanic. You like to say that that's not nice.
Well, I got it from Dan Deerdorf, the former NFL player who I worked with many, many years ago. It was a funny line.
All right, folks, that's it for us this week. I'll tell you what, we will be back on Monday right after the Super Bowl with a couple of big guests, I believe. I believe it's coming together. They're brothers. They're brothers, okay, and they're doing some things at the Super Bowl. If that ain't hot mics, I don't know what is. We will see you on Monday. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. Ta-ta.